That Privileges and Immunities Clause, prohibiting any state that an email from favoring its own citizens because of discriminating against a citizen from Washington state who sends emails within their borders. You know, there's a possibility, yes, that the chambers is not impartial in who it is that they advertise in the chambers. Now, why don't we get all the other law firms that are not in the chambers? Yes, because I'd like to know the relationship between those in the chambers, yes, and those that are not. Now, quite often when you're going to have a lawsuit, you want the best representation for your client, yes. And if you don't have the attorney to represent your client in your firm, yeah, you probably like to work with those that are in the chambers, yes, in the state where your client is wanting representation. Ouch. Now, this privileges and immunities clause, yes, provision U.S. Prohibiting state laws that abridge the privileges or immunities of U.S. citizens. Oh. Now, this clause was effectively nullified by the Supreme Court in Slaughterhouse case. Due process clause, yes. Equal protection clause, yes. Now, I guess they nullified it. But I would say that if I was to sue any attorney firm in any state of the United States that said, well, he's not a resident of my state, I haven't personally talked to him, so I don't represent him. I'd remind you of your attorney oath, yes, your state bar association, and what law school you graduated from. Now, you actually do represent me because I'm a citizen and a resident of Washington state. So whomever it was that said, well, I'm sorry, it's not my specialty. You did graduate from law school. Yes. You did have to belong to a bar association in your individual state. Yes. And the Privileges and Immunities Clause applies to me because I'm a citizen of the United States of America. You do represent me. Poe. Now, you have knowledge of kidnapping. Yes. You have knowledge of forgery. Pope. You have knowledge of fraud. And you are liable. See, when they arrest a citizen of any state of the United States where they know that they're not in that city, yes, and they refuse to admit the evidence that would exonerate them, yeah, it is that the judiciary right now violated the laws of the United States. And when I have to email another 180 attorneys in Oklahoma, 8 of them, and then there was 54 of them in New Hampshire, yes, and 95 of them in the state of Michigan, pooch, if you got an email on your server, you represent me, pooch. Now, I'm wanting to make sure that I get my rights enforced today. Yes. And these privileges and immunities of the various citizens in each and every state of the United States, yes, means that there is an obligation. There is an obligation.